Hey. Welcome back, everyone, to Bad Film Good, the podcast where we look at poorly rated movies and we ask the question, is this bad film good? My name is Declan.
I am a... fuck.
No, Aiden.
We had it for so long.
You were gonna say Aiden, and then I was gonna say that's my boy, and then I'd be like, no, that's the film we're looking at. That's my boy. God damn it! I had it planned out. I didn't tell you.
We could do it again, but we're not going to.
That's my boy. This week we're looking at the film That's My Boy with Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg. And I keep when I was trying to make notes, I kept having to take a full 10 seconds to make sure I was writing the right person's name, because I don't know, they're both begin with A's and S's, and it confuses my brain.
They kind of look the same. They kind of act the same.
It's the same person. Basically, this is the sequel to Twins, but they are actually twins in real life, and they're pretending. It's like Hollywood's greatest ruse. So
yeah, finally, we got the sequel.
We've
Twins
uncovered.
that we were all waiting for.
Yeah. Triplets is the third film, so we'll get to that. But Aiden, tell me, what is Shreking this week before we get into the film?
What is Shreking this week? What is... or whatever it was.
What is Shreking? What did we have? What was that last week? What is Shreking?
What is Shreking?
We'll find it. We'll make a jingle, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So, I've got an article for you here. It's from Vanity Fair. And it says, the title is, Shrek Isn't Worth Getting Mad About. This is by Richard Lawson.
Does this have anything to do with the Scott thing?
Let me read the article.
Okay.
On Tuesday morning, this is obviously quite an old article now, a couple months old. On Tuesday morning, the entire internet was talking about Shrek. Well, okay, maybe not the entire internet, but at least a small Twitter-using corner of it. The Guardian published a 20-year-old retrospective.
The return!
Finally!
Oh, the saga continues. I never want it to end. I never want it ever to end.
It published a 20-year retrospective of the smash hit Cannes competing animated film by critic Scott Tobias, who declared Shrek a terrible movie. Blah, 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 blah. Made people really angry. Now this says...
Damn right.
Which isn't really fair. Tobias makes some genuinely interesting points about how Shrek's massive success and...
They're multiplying.
This is written by Scott Tobias.
I was about to say, this is another pen name. And he's just he's like, he gets in contact with Vanity Fair and he's like, look, I've got a really good piece for you.
Yeah.
This is going to be really popular, might be a bit controversial, whatever. They're like, aren't you... Scott, didn't you write that article for? And he's like, no, that's he looks like me. It just, that's not. I'm a completely different guy. Believe me.
Scott Tobias got a lot of hate online, and that was fair. He had some good points,
he's a great guy. He's done charity work. Yeah.
Everyone's shouting at him, and I think it's really mean.
I, for one, love this man.
Yeah, it's got some... It says... let me read it. It paved the way for many of other irksome animated films that pile celebrities into recording booths, feed them committee-polished one-liners, and put those lines into the mouths of sassy CGI characters from the Uncanny Valley.
This is just describing voice acting. Like, what are they... Oh, they're cramming these people into a box and like they're slaves, making them say these words that are put onto CG. Yeah,
that's how it works.
That's how it works. I mean, you could do that for anything. Just be like, oh, they're putting this actor in a makeup chair for 5 hours to put on a prosthetic mask and leaving them there to sweat and drink through a straw. And these are the things that people have to do to make these films. Let's burn all the animated films. Apparently.
Yeah. Well,
carry on.
This bit is the reason why the reason why I Scott Tobias, but this is the second reason
right.
why I've picked this article. It says, I read this talking about the Twitter hate. I read all this dispassionately. Not because it's hard to get invested in yet another film Twitter outrage, though sure, each one hits less and less as time creeps on. But because shamefully, proudly, inertly, I hadn't seen Shrek.
Whoa!
What? Who hasn't
Damn.
seen Shrek?
This is definitely Scott, because
Yeah,
Scott was hating on Shrek because he
yeah.
hadn't seen it. He was never allowed to see it as a kid.
I've seen many clips from it because they were inescapable for a long time, and because the cable movie channel at my college played the film in rotation for an entire semester. I wish we went to that college.
Yeah,
Imagine
I was going to say,
Shrek on in the
I might go
background.
back to college.
Yeah. But I'd never seen it from start to finish. Instead, osmosizing Shrek lore. I don't know what that means.
What the fuck? They just go and say, shut up.
Yeah, literally.
We're simple men. We're like Shrek.
Basically, he's like, oh, anyway, I watched the film and I saw what he's on about. Shrek's crash, why does he live in a swamp? The animation isn't that
dumb.
good. Again, which is something that Scott said, and I 100% disagree. The animation is amazing.
You can
especially
obviously
for
there's
the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because it was, what was it? Early 2000, 2000 and...
Comes out every year in my mind. Early 2000s.
Early 2000 something. You can tell, there's certain, you can tell certain bits and pieces because it did come out at that time, but that's so, saying, oh, the animation's crap. Like you said, it's good for that time. And also, what kind of argument is that? You can look back at all these older animated films, just look back at all the old, I don't know, black and white kind of 2D cartoons and be like, oh, this CGI is terrible. It's all hand-drawn, artistic, and they're like, nah, it's not as good as what we've got today. It's not believable enough.
It's not
Where's the explosions?
The
Not
ogre
photoreal-
and
exactly.
the donkey and the dragon having sex isn't photorealistic.
That was my favourite bit, though.
The last bit in the article says, Shrek does mean a lot more than that to many people, basically saying it's shit. Which is, I'm not going to read this bit, sorry, it's got a lot of long words.
Yeah, try to confuse us with all these long words.
Fuck him. The last sentence is, I hope we can all agree on, though, that Shrek is objectively bad on one front. All the music is terrible, at least as it's used in the movie. I'm sorry, Smash Mouth, but someone had to say it. What are you talking about? Shrek soundtrack is fucking banging. It's so iconic.
Oh my god! If you want to, this is like a speed run of just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? This is insane. Imagine, oh my god, being like, okay, the animation to a degree, you can kind of tell it's a bit dated. It did come out back then, and this kind of stuff and whatever. But then the music, oh my god, the music. What are you talking about?
Yeah, literally.
Oh.
But yeah,
Painful.
that's what's Shreking this week. I'm sorry to make everyone
Boil
angry,
my blood.
But yeah.
Yeah. Damn. It's an angry Shrek.
Yeah.
That is. I give that five angry Shreks out of 5. That story this week. But, angry Shreks aside, this week we looked at That's My Boy, which, as I said on top, is classic Adam Sandler movie with Andy Samberg, which I was kind of surprised. I don't know, I was surprised that he was in the film. But where did we watch this? We watched this on Netflix, right? Was it on Netflix? Yeah. Netflix describes this film as father-son tensions flare when a disagreeable dad decides to move in with his son and his son's fiancée right before their wedding. Which is...
That's not...
Yes.
He doesn't move in with them.
I mean,
he's just at the wedding.
He just kind of turns up and he's about... No, I suppose he does... He's living in the house, right? So...
Yeah, but so's everyone else. It's like the reception, right?
Yeah, he kind of just crashes it.
When you go to a wedding and you go to the you don't move into the hotel where the wedding is. You don't move into the church. You're just there for a bit.
Well, I mean, maybe you do, and they don't realize, and you're just there.
Yeah, actually.
Forever. Somebody else's wedding, and it's like, who's that? Was he invited? Oh no, he lives here.
Fucking Scott Tobias does that.
Oh, he goes around to Shrek-themed hotels just to cause himself pain. But give us a little bit of info.
This is what the
this
film
film
really is.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. I think it's gonna devolve to a point over every episode where it's just gonna be unrecognizable what the plot is from what you give. So tell us what the plot is in this film.
So young Donnie Sandler, that's his name, Donnie Sandler. No, Donnie Burger. I wrote Donnie Sandler.
I put Sandler every single time. I never call them by their names. I forget their names. I just called them Sandler and Samberg.
His name's Donnie Burger.
Yeah, it is.
So Donnie Burger,
Donnie Kebab. You know what I'm saying?
So Donna Kebab.
Donna Kebab is his name now.
Donna Kebab bangs his teacher, and then his teacher gets pregnant. The teacher gets 30 years in prison, in brackets I write, as she should. Mm-hmm. And Donnie has to look after the baby when he's 18. Donnie becomes really famous for some reason because everyone thinks he's really cool and it's awesome that he fucked his teacher. Then 30 years later, or something like that, Donnie owes the money. Donnie owes the IRS money because he hasn't ever paid taxes. He owes them the money. Donnie finds out that his son, who left when he was 18 or something, is really rich now, but he also hates him because he was a terrible dad. However, if he can get him to do a talk show or something like that, Donnie can have 50 grand. So Donnie goes to the wedding because his son's getting married. He gets made the best man. Todd, who is Donnie's son, punches a priest and everyone hates him. Nice. Then Donnie takes everyone to a strip club where Todd meets a nice waitress, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, they do the hangover stuff, but not the good ones, because it's like a bachelor party. They get their ears pierced, they hang out with Vanilla Ice. Then Donnie bangs a grandma, and Todd bangs the wedding dress because they're all really drunk, and then he pukes on it as well. Everyone's mad at Todd again because he came on the dress, so he goes to the dry cleaners to get it fixed. And while he goes out, he's like, I'm going to go to prison to meet my mum or whatever. Yeah, I'm going to go to prison. And Donnie's like,
crime.
And Donnie's like, oh fuck, because we were bonding and I told him that the prison thing was cancelled, but really it was because I felt bad for making him go to prison so I could have 50 grand, because it was all going to be on TV and it's going to be revealed. That's why I came to the wedding. Yeah. He said deadpan in the camera.
Into the camera. Oh no, listeners, audience.
So they turn up at the prison.
Quickly, to the jail. Yeah, just like the screen kind of spins. It's just Adam Sandler's face.
He's like, oh my god.
That was a good impression, yeah. Oh god, I'm going to have to try an impression. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
If it's bad, it's better. That's our motto.
Yeah.
So
what? That should be a
yeah.
Oh. we just witnessed the person.
Cancel everything. Start everything again.
Yeah. If it's bad, it's better.
Yeah, so they go to the prison. There's a TV crew there, and Todd gets mad, and then he shits himself. He doesn't sign.
He actually does. I thought you would just say he does actually.
He does actually shit himself. Then Todd doesn't sign a release form, so Donnie doesn't get any money anyway, and everyone's mad at everyone. So Donnie goes back to the house to pick up his things because he's like, oh, my son hates me now. And then while he's there, he finds out that Jamie, who's Todd's wife, has been fucking her brother this whole time. Yeah. That's right. She's been fucking her brother. Incest. There's incest in this film, as well as paedophilia. There's incest and paedophilia. We'll get to it. Anyway, Donnie tells Todd then the wedding's off and they all live happily ever after. Todd bangs that waitress from earlier that I mentioned. Donnie doesn't go to prison either because he bet some money on a fat guy to win a marathon, and he does. And then it ends.
Do you know what I found really funny? Is that the previous weeks, it's been getting worse and worse, your description of what the film is. Like, the detailed description of what the film is goes so off the rails for these crazy films. And then this film, which has just some of the most abhorrent shit in it, is like the most normal description. I was expecting something wild, but the film itself is just wild enough, I think.
Yeah, we'll save it for the dumb shit.
Yeah.
I was like, that's enough. But a few facts about the film, if you want them. So it was made in 2012, directed by Sean Anders, who's done a bunch of the same sort of stuff.
I just assumed Adam Sandler directed it. Don't know why.
No, I think he had quite a big hand in it.
He would have had a big hand in it. Yeah, sure.
But obviously stars Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg, Susan Sarandon as well, and the one and only Vanilla Ice. He's actually in this film and plays a pretty big part. Baby. It had a budget of 70 million and made just over 57 million, so massive flop.
Yeah.
Has 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb, 20% of Rotten Tomatoes, and only 31 metal crickets liked this movie. Another fact...
Metal crickets. Ooh. We've got cyborg crickets out there now judging.
They change every week. Another tidbit about this film, which I thought was quite interesting. When Andy Samberg got married, he invited Adam Sandler to the wedding, and Adam Sandler showed up as his character, outfit and everything.
That's so great.
I know, it was so good.
That's so great.
And
then he revealed to Andy Samberg that his wife was pregnant to her brother. He was like, "No, dude, you don't have to go all the way with the bit."
I banged your wife. I did spill my beard. Also, there's a bit where they're running Andy Samberg. The other one, Adam Sandler.
See, I'm not crazy.
Him and Vanilla Ice are running on a beach, and there's some kids selling lemonade.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
those two kids are Adam Sandler's daughters, which I thought was
cool.
But look. If I'm Adam Sandler and I'm like, hey, make me a film with pedophilia and incest. Here's $70 million. What do you got for me?
Okay. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions featuring a pedophile. I totally called it earlier on incest and far too intimate fatherly love, where sex is around every corner and Adam Sandler bangs grandmas. That's how I'd pitch this film.
Sold. Yeah, that's basically it. Should we just get into it?
Yeah, we'll just get into it. I mean, so I'd not seen this film. Aiden was seen this film adamant on seeing this because he'd seen it before and he kind of enjoyed it. No spoiler for the verdict on the film later, but I was not expecting the direction of this film because I didn't even know what the premise was or anything. I just knew that it was Adam Sandler and it was Andy Samberg. Jesus Christ, I have to think so hard to get their names right. It's ridiculous.
Donnie and Todd.
Yeah. All I knew is that it was those two, and it was called That's My Boy. I didn't know anything else. So when it just starts off with I'd forgotten how blunt Adam Sandler films can be, and how he kind of goes, he kind of toes the line with stuff. But he does it in a way that kind of it can make you feel a bit uncomfortable, but that's kind of the point, and it's kind of because it's satire and stuff like that. So for about 2 seconds, I forgot about this stuff, and then you've got the kids in the beginning because it's a young Adam Sandler's character. It's him in school. He's 13, 14, something like that, if that, and he's already trying to hit on this teacher, saying "Come on, I've got a couple tickets to this thing. You want to come down with me?" And she's like, "No, I'm your teacher. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "It's just a summer fling, a couple of hand jobs. Don't go all psycho on me." And I was like, okay, okay, that's okay, fine. He's just being a kid. And then I was like, is this a dream sequence? Is he actually asleep in detention? Because it just goes 0 to 60. She's like, "Oh, so did you mean what you said before? You're into me?" And he's like, no, I was just, and then she's unbuttoning her shirt and everything, and then saying that she was pretty impressed by, I don't know, he was some football thing he did or something like that. I don't know. And it leads him into the other room. And I was like, when's he going to wake up? Is he going to wake up now? Nope. This is kind of getting to the bit where it's it's getting closer and they're walking to the room. He's saying I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, no. And then it cuts to a good bit of visual kind of playing with the scenery and the surroundings and stuff. The fact that like they go through the door and then the camera pans over and the other fucking kid is just sat there in detention
it's
with
like
him.
His friend's been there the whole time. Just sat there. That made me laugh a lot.
There's a couple of bits like that really got me, and I was like, that's like the nail on the head for me. Like, that's exactly my kind of humor.
Yeah.
I was like, that's good, because this fucking kid's just sat there the whole time. But I was just like, but this is not where I thought this film was going to go. They are not cut away. This is happening.
I know what you mean, because you're like, so what's happening?
It's so suddenly over the top, right?
Yeah, and it's the moment, because they're like fucking...
Here, there, and everywhere, but...
You're like, yeah, here, there, and everywhere. And it's like, yeah, they go into that room, and you're like, okay, so is this... What's actually happening here? Like, is this him like telling a story? Like,
yeah, him bragging to his kids,
and then it's like
to his friends.
Yeah. And then it's like, and then they bang on the stage, and then they're banging in the closet, and then they're banging.
Like everywhere.
Everywhere.
She's like putting his paper down, saying like A++. For whatever paper he handed in, and then a note just saying like, "I'm gonna sit on your face tonight," and I'm just like, oh no, this is not good.
And that's that same kid that was in there like earlier. He's like, hey, what did you get? He just reads like, I'm gonna sit on your face tonight. His face is so funny.
He's like, oh, okay.
He's just like, okay, goodbye.
Yeah. Because you literally have in that first scene where he's trying to hit on the teacher, like in the hallway, and his friends are there, and then when he mentions the thing about like, oh, just a couple of hand jobs, whatever. And then at the very end of the scene, the kind of end little punchline thing is one of the kids being like, what's a hand job? And the other one's like, I don't know, but I want one or whatever. Like, they're like, haha. And you're like, yeah, because at that age, you're like, they would probably know if they're in school. They probably heard of, what it is. But you're just like, yes, because these are young children.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of I know that's the point. Like, there's a bit more to it, but it's just like, fucking hell, I was not expecting. like you said, when they open up because it's like a big assembly thing, and somebody's giving one of the kids is doing like a class president speech or something, and or you can hear in the background is her being like, "Oh my god, you're so good at this," and all this kind of stuff. And they fucking open the curtains, hearing very clear sex noises.
They're like,
there is no mistaking
look at this.
What is going on. So then, in front of the entire fucking assembly hall of kids, they're like, huh? What's this? And they're like pulling their thing to like open up the curtains. Like, let's take a peek behind the curtains and see what's going on. And she's being banged on the piano and being like, ah. I was like, why would you open the curtains? I mean, again,
you'd peek round. You'd just be like, okay, everyone carry on. I'm the head teacher, and I'm going to see what the fuck is going on. I'm going to go
slap these people up. Yeah.
But that bit's so weird as well, because it's like, it's a film and it's meant to be funny, but it's just like they open the curtains and it's like he's fucking the teacher. No one's concerned. Like kids start like, kids are kids and they're like, Donnie, but then all the teachers are like, yeah, Donnie.
Yeah, just like it's this. It is kind of framed in a way as if it's his dream, you know what I mean? Like it's from the kid's perspective of like, oh, he'd bang his teacher and then everyone is going to be like, oh, mad respect, man, you banged his teacher, that's so cool. And everyone's like, yeah, but all of the teachers are nodding to each other like, damn, yeah, damn, this kid, oh yeah, he really banged his teacher, oh yeah, that's fucking cool. I was like, he's 13. Because she like runs off and then he goes up to the stage and he's looking at everyone like, woo! Yeah. And he like raises his arms in the air and everyone goes wild. And I was like, this is insane.
And it's like, I think it's that.
Because they're like, yeah, this kid was raped, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not old enough to consent. Yeah. But he did it anyway, yeah. God, it's like the other week we were talking about Danny DeVito banging that nun. Not actually, but his character. Just want to clarify, his character in Twins. He's like, "Yeah, bang that nun."
Oh my god, this is part of the same. Danny DeVito is Donnie Berger from.
Oh, it's all connected.
It's all the same universe. The Bad Film Good universe.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. We've established this.
But it's like, I think it's at this moment where you're like, okay, this is actually happening.
Yeah,
because they go to a
they're committing to
courtroom.
this.
They're like in a courtroom, of course, because she's being arrested and going to
For being a
prison
paedophile.
For being a
and,
paedophile.
Raping a child.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, please stand. And then the teacher stands and she's pregnant. And everyone's like, oh. But then still, everyone's like high-fiving, like, did you see that? He fucking got a pregnant. He's fucking so cool.
He got a bun in the oven. Yeah.
But it's funny. The judge is me. Because she's like, she's like,
I think the judge is the audience. You got to have somebody in there.
Yeah, she's like, this
mediating.
She's like, for some reason, everyone thinks this is cool, and I don't get it. And then, like, after the sentence, she's like, oh, like, you know, the teacher's like, I love you, look after a child.
Don't ever stop loving you. Look after my child. Yeah.
And the judge just goes, this is fucking mental. That made me laugh.
Literally,
yeah.
I mean, exactly. Like, I think that must have been very deliberate. Like, you've got to have at least one character that is like, by the way, we are.
Yeah.
This film is aware that all of this is insane. And it's not good. You know, just especially the person who's in court, just the judge, just being like, by the way, guys, this is bad. I know you might be enjoying this for some weird fucked up reason, but this is bad. I made a note about the fact that, like, I think it is Donnie, because when the teacher's being led away, and then the judge says about how once the kid is of age, I think the kid's going to like be with Donnie's grandparents or something, or I don't remember exactly. But
it's his dad,
or just with his parents, because when she says, "Oh, the kid's going to be with them until Donnie's 18, and then 18 he'll gain custody then," which I was kind of like, I mean, still, he's only 18. Yeah. But, I guess, kids that age, but he's like, when she says that the parents will have to raise the kid until then, because you don't see the dad, he's like sat and blocked by other people, but his fist just comes out and punches Donnie in the face, and he's
like, you idiot, bang.
Yeah, he was like, you look what you got us into, and I was like, just fucking assaulted his son in the fucking courtroom.
The judge is like, I saw that.
Yeah. Hey. Judge is like, what is wrong with you people? You're assaulting him now. And you get a sentence. And you get a sentence. All of you people enabling these pedophiles. You get a sentence. Oh, insane.
You get a car, and you get a car. To jail, I mean.
Yeah, free ride to jail. Yeah, no, it's insane. And he kind of then becomes they then ramp it up even more, right? He becomes like a kid celebrity, because he's like famed as the kid that banged his teacher. Yeah,
and still everyone fucking loves it. Everyone's yeah.
Thing is, I mean, there's things like that have happened in real life, right? And like,
yeah,
I mean, obviously, like I said, I know that the point is that it's completely unrealistic and over the top. That's not going by me, but yeah, it's just like, that was my record scratch noise. We just had to cut there extremely abruptly, because the arm that I use for my mic just, for some reason, gave way, and I was trying to talk and the mic just started moving away from my face, and the whole arm nearly fell off the thing. So I was in the middle of an interesting point there, I'm sure, about the fact that he becomes a celebrity, and shit like that has happened in real life, where some teacher has taken advantage of this, a kid that's like, oh, I'm going to bang my teacher, and then nobody is entertained. Everyone is like, This is awful, and then let's give this child support and therapy. Not, oh my god, this guy's awesome, let's give him a TV show. The really like rough looking mugshot of the teacher being like, this pedo's going to jail,
Yeah.
But then in this, it's like he's a teen, like, kind of still basically like a preteen, but he's like a teen star, kind of pictures of him on the sofa and on talk shows and stuff, being like, so you totally banged your teacher, and he's like, yeah.
And then he's got like a TV show of like him. I think it's actually him looking after the kid, because he's got like an oven mitt that he's put eyes on. He's like, oh I'm
it would be,
looking
yeah.
after you now. Oh. And then, I wrote that Donnie, the character, is a fucking moron, and it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
He fucking, what, is he 12? He was a celebrity at 12. A dad at 12. They were like,
for awful reasons.
For awful reasons. They're just like, oh, cool. Here's a baby. Here's some money. Now
Here's $1
go
million.
away. Yeah. Now live your life. You don't need to go to school. Goodbye.
Doesn't sound like he has the best parents with the way that he was treated in the courtroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's no surprise that when we see him, then because she goes to jail for like 30 years, right? So it's nearly like 30 years later. Because
yes,
at the end of the film, I think he says she's got like 3 years left or something.
Yeah.
So we see like a grown-up Donnie Burger, whatever, Doner Kebab, and it's Adam Sandler. It's so dangerous. I keep looking at my notes and then seeing the wrong name and nearly saying Andy Samberg or Adam Sandler. Oh God, it just annoys me so much. But yeah, we see him, and obviously, I mean, as soon as he started talking, I was like, "Oh God, what is that?"
He's just doing Adam Sandler things. He's like, "Oh God, I nearly spilled my beer, guy." Oh.
The classic, Adam
it's
Sandler
like
kind of voice.
Imagine Adam Sandler doing an impression of fucking Betty White or something. I don't know. I was trying to think of someone, but I couldn't.
But you couldn't. Imagine Adam Sandler doing an impression of Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
But
imagine Adam Sandler doing an impression of drunk Adam Sandler, and that's what this is. Just like, oh God, I'm so drunk, I need to pee my
pants.
Yeah, I did spill my beer.
Because he's talking to who is the guy that he's talking to? Is it meant to be his like agent or something? I guess
no, it's just some guy
or his lawyer.
He sometimes gives money to put on bets. That's where he puts on the bet for the fat guy.
For the fat guy, like right at the beginning. That's like, this is totally not going to be a lead later on.
Yeah.
Because he only has like $250 to his name or something. It's like $218.
No, they said he's got $27 to his name. And he's
sorry,
still like, put $20 on the fat guy.
On the fat guy, yeah. But when he shows a picture of his son to this guy, and it's Adam, I nearly did it. It's Andy Samberg, but it's like fat Andy Samberg, and it just looks so funny. Like I don't know whether they just photoshopped it or did like a like a prosthetic, but it just looks so uncanny, like so strange. It was very funny because it's like really over exaggerated as well.
Yeah.
His chin is down to his like to his chest. So yeah, I thought that was quite funny. There's a lot of in this film. Like I do enjoy most kinds of humor. I think humor that's like really crude doesn't always sit well with me. Like if it's kind of really in your face, and there's quite a bit of this in this film, which I was kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't kind of make me like, ha, this is funny. His penis is in his face, you know. But then there are kind of other bits which are still quite crude, but are just hilarious. Like then when he's in the strip club then, and he's talking to the big lady stripper. I don't remember what her name is, but it's just this normal conversation that they're having, and she's just doing all of these fucking crazy like moves on the pole and like twerking and doing all this stuff, and they're just completely talking normally, and especially because she's such a big woman as well. Like it's just so jarring. Like the difference between the two. It's so funny. It's
fun. That bit's hilarious. That actually made me laugh quite a bit because she's like, they're having this normal conversation, and then I think is it her daughter or something, or someone's like, it's the waitress that Todd marries at the end or bangs or whatever, and she's like, oh, here's your breakfast. Do you want me to leave it on the side? And she's like, no, I'll have it right now. Donnie doesn't mind. And she's like upside down, like eating the fucking cereal. It's going everywhere. She's like,
going like,
she's like, maybe you should reach out to you.
Like that's, I did think that was hilarious. Like, there are some bits which are just genuinely so funny.
Yeah. But
man.
like I think it's after that bit, isn't it, that when we're introduced to Todd, who it's revealed his real name is Han Solo Burger. Which again makes me laugh so much. It's just like the most ridiculous,
stupidest name. Like, what is that?
Han Solo Burger.
So fucking dumb. Oh my god. You know, I think it's difficult to. I mean, obviously, you know, whenever we're kind of looking at bad films in this, and we kind of love to you know, rag on them a bit and be like, oh, it's so stupid. They did this stupid thing. Haha, that's funny. But like, this film obviously deliberately does all of these stupid things because it's super satire, and it kind of frames it in a way that a lot of the stuff that I was looking at, I was like, oh, that's really dumb. But I can't really like take the mick out of it, or like make it into a funny point, because it's just meant to be dumb.
Yeah,
you know?
like some there are some things where you're like, that's
100%.
stupid. Like, for example, Todd should have been taken away by child services. Like 100%, because he's explaining it's later on, and like Donnie has met up with Todd, and Todd's like, "You're a fucking piece of shit, and I hate you. You're the worst dad ever." Because he's saying like all this shit that used to happen to him. He's like, "I'm diabetic because he weighed 400 pounds when he was 12." Yeah. Like, he once had to drive Donnie home when he was 8 because Donnie was too drunk. He's got a tattoo that's warped because he said he got it in 3rd grade. I looked that up, by the way. That's 9 years old.
For all these non-American people out there.
Yeah. Us, yeah. It was like, I was in 3rd grade and I was like, haha, huh? But he's got like a fucking tattoo of, is it the Backstreet Boys or something?
No, it's carry on. I'll look it up because
it's something like that. Name, and like all
some boy band kind of deal.
Some boy band, and all their heads are warped because he was so young when he's got it. And you're just like, how was this child allowed to have a kid? And then and he's like famous. Everyone's like,
Kids on the Block. That's what it was.
New Kids on the Block. Yeah, there we go. His name's Han Solo. Like, how was he allowed to have
failures
this kid?
of the child services system?
Yeah, this is actually like, there's a deeper message to this, and it's like the failures of child services. Yeah.
yeah.
But there's funny stuff. You're right. There's stupid things, but it makes you laugh. One of my favorite lines is it's early on in the film, and they're like, Todd is part of a hedge fund, and he goes to his boss's summer home for the wedding because it's just like a really nice place. That's where the venue is.
Oh, right, yeah.
And
I think I missed out on some bits of the story like that because I was just so taken in. But you know.
But he's talking to his boss, and the boss is like, "I hope your wives don't turn out like my 3 ex-wives." Yeah. And they're like, ha ha ha. And he's like, "No, I'm serious. They're all whores."
Yeah.
Fuck no.
And then it just makes it super awkward. They're like, "Oh," and he's like, "Am I right?"
Yeah.
Oh,
like, I don't know.
And I mean, Andy Samberg is brilliant in this. Like,
he really is.
I think he's he's brilliant in everything. But yeah, he does a good job in this. But yeah, like random quotes now and then. Like when what is his name? I think Donnie. Yeah. So when obviously it's grown up Donnie, Adam Sandler, he is going to see he's going to see the like showrunner guy who I'm assuming he kind of would have had history with because he probably would have run loads of stories and shows on him when he was younger. He goes to see him to see about doing some kind of 25 years on kind of thing so that he can get the money to pay off all of these fucking
IRS debts.
Money that he's got to pay the IRS or whatever, so he doesn't go to jail by like the end of the week. And that's when he bumps into Vanilla Ice, and like actually it's actually Vanilla Ice, and they clearly kind of because at first I was like, why is he just suddenly like, oh, he knows Vanilla Ice? But I was like, oh, because he was a child star growing up and whatever, so he would have been in those circles and stuff. So yeah, of course he'd know him from whatever time. but they've got like this history where he like banged Vanilla Ice's mum, and there's like this kind of obviously like a feud that's been going on with them. But it's the quote when he says like, oh, I didn't know it was your mum, like, at the time, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. And then Vanilla Ice says something back, and then he's like, yeah, I should have known by the haircut, like talking about the Vanilla Ice's haircut. I just imagine his mum, like, she just got a Vanilla Ice cut. It just, like, stuff like that, is very funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny things. And it's funny that they do Vanilla Ice so dirty in this as well. Like, I mean, obviously he's there and he's playing up to it. He's obviously like, yeah, this is really
he's in
funny.
on it, yeah.
But he's like, because he's Vanilla Ice is doing the same thing, sort of. He's like, yeah, I need this talk show because I'm in so much debt. Like,
yeah, like
I
he's
used
so
to be
washed
famous.
up.
He's like, he says something like, oh, yeah, Donnie's like, oh, you should be rich, like all the royalties from Ice Ice Baby. He's like, no, I fucking have to pay money because of the lawsuit with fucking Queen, which is a real thing. Like, they tried to sue.
Oh, is it a real thing?
Yeah, they tried to sue Vanilla Ice because he clearly stole the fucking tune from
yeah, of course, from Under Pressure.
Yeah, but I can't. I maybe I should look it up. I can't remember if there was actually like, if anything happened with it, if he actually owes money every time.
Actually, that'd be really funny. Yeah. And he just goes along with it, like, yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah,
you know.
But yeah, like they just do him so dirty. They just do Vanilla Ice so dirty. Like, it's revealed he's working in a fucking skater alley, like rollerblading alley thing, cooking chicken nuggets or something.
Yeah, he's like, like super washed up kind of thing.
Yeah. They go, like, Adam Sandler runs to his house at one point, and it's just like this fucking disgusting crack den fucking motel place. All the windows are boarded up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just fucking just feel bad for Vanilla Ice. Like, obviously he probably found it funny, but he's like, yeah, Vanilla Ice, you fucking washed up piece of shit that no one cares about anymore.
Yeah. I always wondered, like, when I was younger, because the tune was used in both of those two things, and I was like, I don't know, I was always like confused between the two because of it. So I didn't realize that, yeah, they actually did take him to court or whatever over that whole thing. But yeah, I mean, the way that, like I said, where it's kind of hard to take the mick out of certain things, because when Adam Sandler's character is talking to this kind of big this big reality show guy, and the guy is like obviously prepping for whatever he's going to do next. He's got this assistant lady who's always like makeup lady who's you know, powdering him and all this kind of stuff and whatever, but she's wearing like a really tight kind of like pencil skirt or something, and as he's talking, he's like staring at her butt, because what Adam Sandler's saying, he's got like this idea of like, oh, well, we can have a reunion at the prison and it'll be like a great thing for ratings, whatever. And he's like, it'll be really sexy or something like that. And he's like staring at a butt and he's like, yeah, really sexy and whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, so fine, you know, they're doing this. But then he always takes it like a step further, where then Adam Sandler's character is like, yeah, you can eat that ass when I'm gone. Why don't you answer me about this thing?
Yeah.
And it's like, I love that kind of like that bluntness, that kind of straightforward being like, because normally it'd be like, oh yeah, it's a funny double meaning thing that they're doing there. And then he's like, no, you can eat that ass when I'm gone. Why don't you answer me now about this thing? You know, I thought it was great.
There's stuff like that. Like, there's loads of visual gags as well, which I usually find the visual stuff makes me laugh the most in this film, because we were saying about the fucking stripper, the like kid. Eating a breakfast,
the stripper,
and the kid as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit that it's like Todd meets his fiance's brother, who's like this military man. He's all
played by what's his name, Milo. So I wrote down here, Milo Ventimiglia, something like that. He's the guy from Heroes, the one who can copy people's powers and stuff. Do you not recognize? That's all I could see him as. I could only see him as his character. I don't think I've seen him on much else, but I could only see him as his character from Heroes, which is so weird.
But yeah, there's like, he's like, oh, how's the fucking hedgehog business? Like, haha, no, it's hedge funds. And you're like, that's kind of funny, I guess. But the funniest bit in that scene is it's just in the background. He's like, oh, don't fucking bang my sister, like, don't mess around with my sister, don't break her heart. But in the background, there's this grandma just face down in a plate of food, just in the background. You're like, she fucking dead or something?
It's almost like that kind of humor, like Airplane and stuff, right? Where there's just the most wacky stuff is like happening all the time.
Yeah,
there's never a kind of like, or very rarely there's just like a normal quiet scene. There's always, it's like they have the scene and then they're like, what can we throw in that just makes it so wacky? Like the grandma just face down in her food, you know?
Yeah.
Which they then address later on, right? Because when, I think it's when Adam Sandler's character turns up, he wakes her up or something.
Yeah, she's like, she must, I don't know how long she was meant to be there for, but they're like back at the table and she's just like, like she fucking come back to life.
Come back to life, yeah. And you have like loads of again, like there's so many jokes where you almost feel like, oh god, that's a risky joke to make, but it's done in a way where you're like, okay, these people are being shown to be assholes, you know, like where they because they're these kind of really rich family who clearly don't care about like lower class and other people from other cultures and stuff like that. So then they've got their like Asian butlers and maids that they said something about. I can't remember what the thing is. They were like, oh, don't worry about being polite to them. Like they need this job to stay in the country or something like that. Yeah. And then and you walk past and you're like, oh god. And then the Asian butler goes, white whore. I was like, okay, good. So good. It's just so abrupt and you're like, okay, you know, they know what they're doing.
Oh, fucking hell. Like, yeah, I had this note later on, but it's like, everyone is a terrible person apart from Todd. Because you're right, like, Todd's boss is a fucking racist, but he's also just a complete arsehole. He's like picking a new partner for his business, and he's like, oh, the new partner is this guy. No, I'm joking, it's you, Todd. I'd never fucking pick Bill or whatever. Bill's a piece of shit. Ha ha ha, everyone laughs. You're like,
in front of him and his wife.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, like,
yeah.
Poor guy. It's fucking, it's like, you fucking piece of shit, Bill.
Yeah. And I feel like Adam Sandler does this kind of thing a lot with not every one of his films, but I mean, you know, he always plays the kind of like, I almost want to say like an underdog almost kind of character, right? Where it's like, he's looked down on in the beginning and presented as being this like awful, gross kind of character. He's always got a beer in his hand. He's like, yeah, come on here. That was him drinking the beer. But then at the same time, then he's the one who sat there telling all these crazy stories to everyone, and everyone loves his character and all this kind of stuff. And they're all like awful people. And he kind of, even though he doesn't says like awful things, there's then like there's a kind of a deeper level to his character where he's more genuine about other things, and it's kind of like, you know, maybe he doesn't show it in the best way, but his heart's in the right place and all this kind of stuff. It feels very, usually with his films, I feel it kind of, there's a lot of that kind of, oh, the heart's in the right place, even if they're very rough around the edges, you know. Yeah. I think the note I made was like, everyone about this guy is like, everyone's like, this guy's the best guy ever because he's telling all these stories, and I was like, even though he's like a massive butt, he is just like, he looks so rough. He's just constantly drinking, like constantly kind of half drunk, and he's in this setting of this like very kind of upper class kind of big wedding, big house, big rich people, all this kind of stuff. But they all just like love him, and not even ironically, not like he's the kind of entertaining lower class kind of thing. It's like he's just the best guy ever, you know.
Sorry.
That's right.
I'm just like, yeah, cool, whatever. Wasn't listening.
Yeah, well, whatever.
No, sorry, I just clicked on Vanilla Ice's page, and he's had a lot of legal issues.
Oh, like, God.
Fuck. Like, on 1998, Ice was arrested in South Dallas for illegal drag racing.
Which I always think of drag racing as like, was it RuPaul's Drag Race?
RuPaul, and then just like,
I just imagine it like illegal drag racing. And it's just vanilla ice.
Animals, get set, sashay away. And then they all start printing. The sirens go on and they're like, oh no, we've been made, everyone scram. Just running away, like the clip-clops of the high heels, like someone's wig falls off, they're like, oh shit.
I always just associate the two now. The two different types of drag racing.
Yes, but in 1990, Ice was threatened with copyright infringement for Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie, and it said it was settled in court.
Oh.
So I guess it's fine now. And then there's a whole long list of other things of him being arrested.
I'm not surprised. I mean, he's from that era, right?
Yeah. But yeah, we won't get into that.
No. In this film, he's a different kind of Vanilla Ice.
Yeah. Also, I found it funny that old woman's just like, she's very funny. And she she's
the grandma.
The grandma. She's got her head down, like in the plate. They're playing baseball at one point because they're all like, Donnie's fucking awesome. Everyone's catching the baseball, and she just does like a fucking dive. Like, whacks the board. She's like sprinting and does like a cool dive. You're like, oh, classic. But that old lady is Peggy Stewart. Like, from
I don't recognize the name.
From Billy the Kid and Oregon Trail. Like from old classic Western films. She's like the sexy broad that everyone loves.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God.
And still doing good.
No, she's just doing fucking weird Adam Sandler movies with pedophilia and incest in it.
But I feel like he loves slapstick humor against like grandmas, because there's I just thinking of like other films like Jack and Jill, where doesn't the grandma always get like hit with something?
I haven't seen Jack and Jill.
Have you not seen it?
We're definitely going to do it for this.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, we'll space out. We'll have like an Adam Sandler collection by the time we get further in, because every now and then we'll do an Adam Sandler film and probably praise it.
I was gonna say, like, I guess because for the listeners, usually we do like dumb shit. It's usually in chronological order. Then we talk about,
we'll go through the film and in order. Yeah.
I think we kind of agree that like there's the dumb stuff, but just in general, like, I don't know. Should we do bad film good now?
I mean, we could shake it up. Yeah, I mean,
let's shake it up. What do you think?
I think, I think because it's got enough like genuine moments in it to be bad film good, because it's like, I mean, it's very formulaic and everything like that, but I feel like because he knows, right? I mean, Adam Sandler like deliberately makes these films in the way that they are to be kind of like easy to do. Like the script is like, things are usually like super simple. They're quite formulaic, but it's kind of still satirical, and it's done in a way where it kind of sounds weird, like, easy to consume. It's like, it's usually very controversial, or films like this one where it's, the subject matters are fucking wild.
Yeah.
But everybody always gets, anybody who, so for example, whether it's incest, whether it's pedophilia or whatever, there's always consequences. Like, as wild as it is, and it's like, oh, this is crazy, like, we start off with this kid like banging his teacher, and it's like, yeah, but then she goes to jail for 30 years. Like, there's no kind of glorification. Okay, there's kind of a satirical glorification of it, sure, from like a teenage boy's perspective, but you do have then the real world where it's like,
she is in prison.
This is very clearly wrong, and she is going to jail. And like, the brother and sister, as we find out later in the film, that they're sleeping together, and I fucking love that scene where he's just like, are you step, like, are you like step siblings at least? Like, was he adopted? And they're like, nah, we're just kind of,
well, they just
100% related.
Yeah, he's like, are you steps? Are you adopted? And they're just like staring at him, and he's like, I can tell by your silence that you're definitely 100% related.
And he's just like throwing up. He's like, this is so awful. So like, yeah, they have all this wild stuff, but then they're like, in his own way, he's like, yeah, don't worry, we know this is bad. We're just kind of laughing at it. And I like that sort of thing. So
yeah.
I think overall, it's definitely a bad film good.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I don't know about you, but I really have a soft spot for Adam Sandler films and Adam Sandler in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're right, they're all very similar, and you know
and he always plays a very similar sort of character. Like his role, at least, is very similar.
Yeah, and you know, I think back in like the 90s, he was very popular. He had like Happy Gilmore and fucking the one where he's rich. I can't remember what it's called.
That's what it's called, the one where he's rich.
Yeah, but and I think he's got this bad stigma about him now. It's like, oh, fucking another Adam Sandler movie. It's always on Netflix. And then like I watch them and I'm like, obviously there's going to be there are a few bad ones that you'd like, this isn't good. Yeah. But I think in general, he's got that type of humor about him. And you know what to expect.
It's comfortable, in a way.
Comfortable, stupid, random humor. I think this one especially, I'd watched it before, and I remember liking it. But I think on the second time, I actually found it really funny. Because, you know, it's not like clever humor or anything like that. But it's just the stupid, random stuff that, like, you're just not expecting that just gets me. And this is exactly that. And also, I think, you know, aside from the statutory rape and the incest, I feel like it's a feel-good movie. He has that arc of being a piece of shit dad, and Andy Samberg hates him, and then they go through this
Andy
weird
Samberg.
Andy Sandbags.
Sorry, sound like that was what you said. That wasn't English, Jesus.
That was a blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Sandbags.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It's fun, and it just makes you feel good. It's easy to watch.
Yeah. I think they have that. What you were saying just there, like they have that moment because he's kind of clearly being a piece of shit dad, and he's as a person he's not very well put together. But then there's that moment where he gives Sandberg's character a hug. And you kind of, they linger it for a moment, and you can kind of see this. You actually genuinely feel like it's a, I mean, they're both drunk and whatever, but like this moment between like father and son, they're having this hug, and he's kind of, you can almost feel the apology and stuff of him not being around for him and stuff. And cause and you're just like, oh man, there's like a deep, genuine moment that just kind of, they just give you a little bit of it. They don't overdo it. They just give you a little bit, and then it's like, right, and now Vanilla Ice is like pissing himself in this bush, you know, and you're like, okay, I can go back to, because I mean, comedy opens people up, right? You know, if you want to get people emotionally, like if you really want to like tug on the heartstrings, or you want to scare them or something, or do something like that, you start off with comedy, and it kind of opens people up, and they laugh and they find it funny, and then you hit them with something really deeply emotional, and they're like, oh god, I wasn't expecting that, you know. It's
like the classic the Futurama dog episode.
I've heard about this, but I've not seen it.
What?
I've not seen it, no, but I've heard. We're going
to pause the podcast right now, and we're going to watch it together. And then we'll get back.
And we'll be back. Yeah.
And we're back.
And we're back, guys. And we did. No, we didn't. Well, you'll never know. Maybe.
Maybe we did.
Yeah. And we're back. So we just we record a couple of them, and we accidentally leave it in the edit. So then we're talking, and then it just cuts off. And we're back.
But anyway, what I was saying is...
and we're...
I was going to do it as well.
All right, actually, do you think? Okay. I'm not going to do it again.
Anyway, what I was saying is, it's the classic dog thing, which we've now watched, where it's like, Futurama is so funny, and it's so light-hearted. I love Futurama anyway. And then there's just this episode where it's like he finds this fossilized dog of like it's his old dog, and you know, it's kind of funny, and he's gonna bring his dog back to life, but then he finds out that he lived to being 12, so he had a full life, and he's like, oh well, he lived without me. He's probably, you know, he's had a great life, and I don't want to bring him back to life just to be for my selfish reasons.
For my selfish reasons, yeah.
And then at the end, it turns out the dog didn't have a good life. He literally waited in front of the pizza shop every day, all day, just waiting for Fry to come back, and he never did. Man. And you're like, oh, fuck! But it's like that.
My heart!
Yeah. You know, the humor, I think because it sets you up so well to be like, aha, this is funny. And then sadness.
Yeah, and it just hits you with like deep emotions. Yeah. You're like, I wasn't ready for this. Yeah, 100%. Well, yeah, because I mean, comedy, you know, you like I said, you open yourself up to it. If it's kind of funny, you're like, okay, I'm gonna engage with this. So it's a good medium to kind of, and he does like to, Adam Sandler does like to teach messages and stuff in this. You know, like you can make the argument that it's not put across very well because of it kind of being satirically kind of glorified and whatever, but you know, the whole thing with him and his teacher, like that's bad. The whole thing with like the incest and stuff, like that's bad. And not that they're the main message. I mean, obviously the main message is like about, you know, pedophilia is bad. No, but like the main message being, you know, he's kind of giving him a second chance, and like they still have that opportunity to kind of grow and to, even though he's really rough and whatever, like I said, his heart's kind of in the right place, and you know, just people being people and having emotions, you know, being able to kind of work things out. You've got stuff like that. There's kind of the underneath all of the like really crass stuff and the random scenes of Adam Sandler jerking off to a picture of the grandma and all this kind of stuff, you know, stuff
and
like
then
that.
She
like
comes
that.
in, and then she's like, "Oh, you want to have the real thing?" And you're like, oh, this is so bad, but so good at the same time.
Yeah, well, because again, they have that's what I'm saying about him taking it a step further, because you have the whole scene of him jacking off to the grandma, and then you have it's like, oh, it's the next morning, and there are literally tissue papers stuck to like the ceiling and all sorts of like they're everywhere, like he's been going all night, and Adam Sandler's like, oh my god, man, this is so gross, what are you doing? Because the grandma's come in and being very grandma like me, like, oh, I'm just going to clear up all of this mess, like, oh, these are everywhere and all this kind of stuff, and as if she's being really innocent. And he's like, no, grandma, no, that's a cum tissue, no, grandma, please. You know, and he's kind of, he doesn't say what they are, but he's kind of helping
like,
her get rid of them.
Donnie's really sick, that's why there's all this tissues. And she's like, well, if he's so sick, maybe he shouldn't masturbate so much.
And you're like, oh, they did the double. They did the double joke, and they got me, you know. So he does that a lot. Yeah. It's like, this is the joke, and we know it. We know this is the joke.
Yeah.
Here's an extra joke on top of that.
It's like, they do that a lot with the grandma as well. There's a funny bit where actually they're all sat around the table talking, and Donnie's like, oh, I can tell where you get your looks from. You know, this grandma's really sexy. And everyone's like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And then they're saying how she used to be a lingerie model. No, a swimsuit model.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's so interesting, cool. And then the conversation sort of moves on. And then she sort of mutters under her breath. She's like, I guess no one wanted to see the costume.
Oh, yeah, she does. Because they're like looking at the pictures.
Like she was going to fucking model it for him or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, there's dumb stuff, but it's funny. The only thing that I think is dumb, I mean, I guess that's the whole point. Like, he's the straight man. I'm talking about Andy Sandberg. But the dumb thing is, like, everyone fucking hates Todd. But for no reason. Todd's the only genuine nice person, because you know,
like he's a bit off because he's got all this like trauma, and he's got all of these kind of, you know, coping mechanisms that he does that are all really strange, and his lucky underwear, his spare underwear, and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, he's like a genuine person.
It's like, because, you know, Donnie's a piece of shit. We established that. His boss is a racist piece of shit. Todd's wife is banging a brother. The brother's lying about being a Marine. Like, everyone
Which I didn't see coming. That's one thing I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
Just because there's no kind of, I don't think there's any real hint to it.
No, I think it's just for a gag, like,
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
he's secretly a jazz dancer because he gets knocked out. He gets like punched in the face and knocked out, and then like he's
doing
floor
jazz hands
out,
still.
and then he's doing jazz hands. Which I thought was really funny. But So, first off, the bit where they're all catching the baseball and everyone's like, yeah, fucking everyone's catching it, even the 2-year-old's doing backflips and catching this baseball. And then Todd's like, oh, I don't really want to play, like, I'm not very good. Then he, like, fucking pelts it towards him and he gets hit in the throat. Yeah. He's like, oh, I can't breathe. Oh. And everyone's like, oh, Todd, you fucking
He's like, you
pussy.
fucking idiot. You can't do shit. And the 2-year-old is like picking up the ball instead of throwing a perfect pitch back towards Adam Sandler.
And you're like, why is everyone being so mean? Like, later on, they're talking to the priest, and Todd's like, yeah, you know, my dad wasn't the best of guys. He's like, you know, the dad's not coming because he's not very good or whatever. And the priest is like, what? Did he beat you? You know? Did he force you to dance around the house naked? Like, fuck you! Like, how dare you say dad's
grow
bad
up,
when
you little piece of shit.
Yeah, my dad was way worse. And then fucking the priest starts like punching him. They're having like a fist fight.
He says something. I don't know why he does, but he says something to the priest about his like breath smelling like shit or whatever. He kind of insults him back, and then the priest is like, "I'm gonna punch this guy out." Yeah. So they're doing all this shit, and you're like, but his dad was a terrible dad. Like all those things we said. Yeah.
For weighing 400 pounds, getting a tattoo when he was 9, like. He's valid in thinking his dad's an awful person. The priest is like,
everyone's like, no, fuck you, Todd.
Yeah, and then he gets beaten up. The priest is like, I'm not doing your wedding because you're a piece of shit. And everyone's like, oh, fuck you, Todd. Like, I can't believe you did that.
You ruined it for us.
Yeah,
like, especially his wife.
Yeah, literally. Like, the only time that people are actually valid to be mad at Todd is when he fucking throws up and comes on the wedding dress. Because, he threw up on the wedding dress and came on.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, like, if that had happened in real life, if you're like,
Jesus.
Hey, baby, like, I'm just gonna go out for my fucking stag do or whatever. I'll see you tomorrow for the wedding. And then she wakes up and it's got, like, fucking vomit and cum on it. You'd imagine she'd be pretty angry.
Yeah.
But apart from that...
And like, what the fuck?
The whole time, like, literally everyone, like, the boss, the family, you know, all the friends and stuff, they're all like, fuck you, Todd. You're a piece of shit. You're a damaged, ugly piece of shit.
Yeah, and then, like I said, and then they think that the sun shines out of Donnie's ass, even though he's kind of... just this random dude who comes in and is like super crude and all this kind of stuff and whatever. And we kind of, then you see like a bit of a flip towards the end of the film where Donnie accuses Todd's wife of cheating on him because he kind of like hears a conversation with her and the boss on the phone, but they're actually organizing like something else. You know, it kind of does like a double kind of, you think that she's cheating and then he accuses her and then she's like, actually, it was this amazing kind of press thing that we were going to be doing, and we didn't want to let Todd know because he would be worried about it and all this kind of stuff. And then it's like, oh, now he looks like the asshole.
Yeah.
But double fake back because she was actually banging the brother, and he finds out all this stuff, you know.
But yeah, I mean, the only other note I've got is another dumb thing. I was, you know, it's just funny, but. I was like, that's kind of stupid because, you know, it's at the end, it's all coming out. He's like, the wedding's fucking off because you're having sex with your brother. Like, fuck you. And then he's like, also, I quit. Fuck you, my boss, for no reason. I fucking quit.
Oh, well, I guess because she was banging the boss as well. Or did he say that before?
He says it's before because afterwards he's like, it's revealed that he's like, oh, I actually was banging the... I was banging you. Yeah, because he's like,
his
no,
wife
please
was
don't
like sleeping
quit.
around to get him better positions at work and stuff.
Yeah. He's like, please don't quit. You're so good at your fucking job. Like, I apologize for sleeping with your wife. Like, we actually were. But he's like, no, I quit. The wedding's off, and also
everything's off, and
everything's off. I want to be a sleazy piece of shit like my dad now.
Just like my dad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've got lots of money to do it with. Yeah, and then again, to add to the whole thing of like characters doing bad things still having consequences, because the priest kind of shows up again, but he's not mad at Todd anymore because he wants to find who the person was that bottled him and knocked him out while he was fighting Todd before. And obviously it was Adam Sandler's character, because he just has like the most powerful weapon on all existence, which is just a glass bottle, because he just one-shots everyone with it and they always just go down like immediately.
It's just it's such a satisfying thing as well. It's just like
the noise is like, it's like a proper ding. Almost makes you want to go around and bottle someone. I'm joking. But yeah, he wants to find out, and then Todd just says that it's the brother who, what's his name, Chad, I think, who's like,
something like that.
The one who's pretending to be in the military and all this kind of stuff and banging his sister. So like, he says it's him. So when he goes to, again, it's all kind of then, it all plays out in the one scene where he goes to go and beat up Todd. Like Chad goes to beat up Todd because he's like, you ruined everything and you embarrassed me and all this kind of stuff. And then he just gets knocked out by the priest. And Adam Sandler's character then turns around to the priest and he's like, you should probably take that collar off. Like, this job isn't for you or whatever. And it's kind of like a joke where he's like, But yeah, he's kind of showing, is like, this guy's a priest. He, as funny as it is, he shouldn't be going around beating people up. And so they're like, you shouldn't be doing that really. You should probably stop being a priest. And then he's like, I'm going to stop being a priest.
Being a priest,
So it's just interesting little things like that. They didn't have to put it in, but it feels like it's kind of like a, this is all a joke and it's all funny, but you shouldn't do that sort of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, bad film, good for me. I really like this film.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There was it was really glaringly obvious, and it really surprised me in the scene where they go to the prison to see X amount of years have like passed, obviously, and they've not seen her at all, but to see the teacher who was the mum, and they're like talking, and when you get the reverse shot back on, you get the shot back on the two of them sat there while they're talking to her, and this boom mic just comes down like into the shot and then back out of it, like massively. That was, obviously, they normally kind of cover things up, and you might see like the little kind of Easter eggs of like, oh, you could see this in this shot and whatever. But that was just, I just thought I had a note on that there because it was so, it was so abrupt.
No, that's it's because the film crew's there.
Actually,
it does it again.
I didn't even click that. How did I not click
it's
that?
It's like a visual
that's
gag.
Clever. Yeah. Oh, that's me
being
just
so
dumb.
I was actually, that's so unprofessional.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the shot, and I was like, "Damn! How did they fucking mess that up so bad? That boom is in the. Oh, it's so stupid. Oh, I felt like an idiot. God damn it!
This guy fucking watches
made a
films.
fool out of me.
Yeah. I'm leaving this in, by the way. I want everyone to know.
100%. I'll own up to, like I said, people doing things that has consequences. I was an idiot and thought that it was like a film kind of, a film fail kind of thing. But yeah, I think that was my last note, just about like all the grotesque things happen in the film, but the morally awful things do always have those kind of consequences. So. Yeah, I think also the way that he says when it's revealed at the wedding at the end, and Adam Sandler's character is saying to the fiance, like, if you don't tell him what you've been doing, then I will tell everyone here right now. And then she kind of has to whisper it into his ear, and then the first time he's like, oh, that's not so bad. And he's like, you didn't tell him the actual thing. And she whispers the actual thing to him. And there's just this, again, the comedic timing and stuff, it really got me. It was just this pause, and he's like processing it. And everyone's watching him, and he just doesn't say anything. And then he's just like, you fuck your brother? And everyone's like, yeah. I was like, yes. Brilliant. Yeah, I'd say bad from good.
Bad from good. Yeah, genuinely. Right, should we read some reviews for the film?
Oh, definitely. This is definitely kind of a controversial kind of, people sway one way or the other with this, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of the subject matter. Very touchy. Quite rightfully so, but do you want to, shall I go first? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay. So, I've got one thing. So again, I always take the reviews from Rotten Tomatoes, if there are any there, which there almost always are. And, I think Aiden takes them from IMDb when he can. IMDb. And, and again, I always go for the audience reviews because they're just That's where all the real views of the people come from. And I've got one from Gabriel R, who's given it 4 stars, and he says, crude, disgusting, mean-spirited, reckless with other people's opinions. That's why I loved it. All the sex jokes, every dumb and offensive joke, amazing. It's a perfect satire movie. The most truly disgusting and depressing things surrounding this movie are not the jokes or the actors, but the mentality in the reviews of and he does that thing where he says film critics, but he does that thing where it's like every other letter is capital. Yeah. So he's like film critics, who rated it / hated it, but he put a dash between the H and the A. I'm not sure. It's like hated it. But yeah, so I think Gabriel enjoyed it pretty much. And then I've also got another positive one from Ben R. Maybe they're related, who knows? Ben and Gabriel R. Who's given it 5 stars, and he just says, absolutely brilliant. Don't listen to all the boomers who say otherwise. I think, the boomers are the main controversial market that don't like this. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, you're right. I think when I was finding my review, it's very one way or the other. It's very like, I fucking love this, or this had rape in it. But it's like, yeah, it did.
Yeah,
but it's still funny.
Yeah, like it can have stuff like that in it if it's done well. But I suppose the controversy is whether people think it's done well.
But my one is from XXDXRXEXX.
Amazing.
and
X gonna give it to you.
Oh my god! It's from Triple X. It's from fucking. Is it Don Toretto? I keep calling him Don Toretto. It's not.
That's his name. Yeah, that's his name. It's not Vin Diesel. It's
thank you.
I wanted to legally change his name.
Sorry, yeah. This is from a bunch of X's. It's 10 out of 10. It says, awesome. This movie was so funny that I had a headache from laughing so much.
Jesus.
This movie is probably the best one I've seen in a while. Can't really explain why it's so great. It just is. Which I agree with it. And it says, for some reason there were kids at the movie theatre. Guess someone couldn't get a babysitter? In brackets. There is nudity. A lot of references that children shouldn't be exposed to. Oh, yeah. So please don't bring your kids.
There is like a lot of nudity, isn't there? That, like in the strip club and stuff, there is literal like full nudity.
Yeah. Not sure why there is such a low rating. An older crowd must have seen it and reviewed it. Yes, it's inappropriate. And yes, it's still funny as hell. And yes, you should see it. And then the last bit, which made me laugh, was, I will actually watch this again, and I never do repeats. But next time, I will wear a denim vest and or acid wash jeans. Is that a reference to the film? I don't.
Maybe, to what he's wearing, I guess.
Not really. He's just wearing a vest.
He's like wearing shorts and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
I mean, hey, okay. if that's his like his good movie repeat watch attire, then you do you.
It's like, but last time I was wearing these uncomfortable shorts that rid up my ass. So I think next time I might wear some acid wash jeans, and it was a bit chilly in the theater, so I might wear a denim vest, not a jumper because it wasn't that cold, but something over my t-shirt just to keep me warm. Anyway, good film. 10 out of 10.
If anyone has any recommendations, then just hit me up.
Yeah.
So fucking weird.
Okay. We talked about some. Well, we kind of didn't talk about it, but we talked about some real dumb shit about the film. But should we talk about some real
dumb shit in life?
Real dumb shit in life.
Real dumb shit in real life. Just jumping in there. Take your thunder. Yeah, let's.
And we're back.
And we're back. Oh no! I was hoping you forget. I was going to do the joke later on. God damn it! But yeah, let's talk. Let's give us a story, Aidan, about another one of your. Is this another one of your stories?
Yep. This one,
my favorite. My favorite.
Actually, this one isn't technically my story. This is my dad's story.
Okay, look, it's in the lineage, so
yeah.
I'm hoping it's something genetic that passes on, that you just have these insane
Probably.
stories. So.
Yeah, definitely. So my sister lives in Korea, and my parents decided they'd go visit, as you usually tend to do. So they had a bit of a nightmare booking the hotels. So first of all, my dad being my dad, he booked a hotel for the wrong city. And only just realized like a week before or something. So he had to scramble to get like a hotel. But it kind of worked out for the best, because they turn up into the place, they check into the hotel, and it's like really fancy, really nice. There's some weird quirks. Like they went up to the front desk, and there was like a screen in front of the person. Like they could only see their hands, and they couldn't see the person. The person couldn't see them. But it's a foreign country. You don't really know what the customs are, so whatever. They go up to the room, and it's like crazy. Like the ceiling opens out, so you can see the stars.
Ooh.
And there's like weird mirrors everywhere. And they're like, yeah, this is odd. But hey, my sister goes up to the room from one of the days, and like the workers start to give like my family some weird looks, and they're like, oh, again, I guess we're like foreigners in this country. You might get some weird looks. Who knows?
I can see where this might be going.
There's just these little tidbits that they're like, there's something not right about this hotel.
Oh no.
And it turns out that what my dad had actually booked was a sex hotel.
I fucking knew it.
And it had like there was a vending machine in the, I don't know how they didn't notice straight away.
Oh no.
There was like a vending machine with like sex toys and condoms in it.
Oh
and it's
my
like,
god.
Like that is
the perfect
so
family getaway.
Yeah. That's so on brand with my dad. To be like, I've booked us a lovely hotel. I hope we all enjoy it. Oh, it's a sex hotel.
He calls up and he's like, "Yep, that's 3 tickets for two nights for 3 people. That's me, my wife, and my daughter."
yeah, and they're like,
sorry, sir. Is this? Is that like a
my wife
kind of
and
thing?
my daughter?
No, it's me, my wife, and my daughter. I mean, I guess if you've got the money, then
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, this is so amazing. The roof opens out. Yeah, so you can fuck under the stars.
And like all the
there's
mirrors
lovely mirrors everywhere to do my makeup. Also, you can fucking watch. Just like, god damn it.
Amazing. They're probably just like fucking tourists.
Yeah, like fucking weird foreigners bringing their fucking daughter and their wife to the
British
weird
people.
Oh, good.
I just imagine that being like a "Sir, this is a Wendy's" kind of situation.
Yeah.
Sir, this is a sex hotel. He's like, when's breakfast being done? So this is a sex hotel.
Yeah. You wanna stay more than one night? That's I mean, hey, you do
with
you,
your family.
Yeah, but that's about everything we got this week.
Bit of a short one this week, I think, because
but
the
not
film
much to say about it. But hey,
but we appreciate it. We want to appreciate the film.
Yeah, for sure. Next week we're going to be doing Spy Next Door, which you can watch on Netflix if you want to watch along with us.
That's my childhood, and I'm hoping that it holds up because I haven't seen it in many, many years.
Yeah, so. We'll see.
We'll see.
But if you want to keep up to date with us, we're on Instagram and on Twitter at build. At buildyourown.sexhotel.com. At badfilmgood, all one word. And we're back.
God damn it. Let me have the joke. I will do it.
I will never do it. You can't have it. It's mine now.
Yeah.
all one word, where we put up posts and whatnot, so you can give that a follow if you want to keep up to date. But I think the best thing to do is just tell a friend, give us a 5-star review. That really helps us. Boost
share it. I mean,
people.
share it around to friends is like really good. You know.
Yeah.
They trust you. Break that trust.
Yeah.
Break that trust and recommend this podcast to them.
They're like, I listened to that podcast and fucking weird.
I hate you now.
Yeah. Talking about piss and sex hotels. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just about everything. We're gonna, as always, leave you with an inspirational quote from Inspirebot. It takes a random image and just slaps on a random quote to it. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, no, I can. It's maybe semi-relevant. It's like a half rhyme kind of deal. So it's a very serene kind of inner reflection kind of image. You know, you've got a guy, you can only see him from about waist up, but he's clearly kneeling down, he's praying, his hands are clasped, he's kind of center image. He seems to be in a park kind of area. You've got the sun kind of bleeding through the trees, and it's all kind of golden and nice, and just above his head, as if you know, his prayer is reflected above him. It says, "Popularizing fetishes gives birth to alternate realities." So
they're all born in the sex hotel.
Yeah. Next time you're in a sex hotel, just keep that in mind. You're creating alternate realities by popularizing these fetishes.
Oh, good. My one is it's clearly early in the morning. It's a misty farm field. It's got trees in the background, and then in the foreground there's a sheep looking off into the distance, and the text just says, "Transform him."
I already found the sheep funny. just this sheep staring off into the middle distance, just like, bah.
Transform me.
Transform me.
I'm trapped inside a sheep.
Oh, brilliant. He's got to transcend that sheep. That should be I want that on a
that's
t-shirt.
That's our new
yeah, bad feel good. And then
up.
the slogan, transform
that sheep. All right. Bye-bye.
Well, that was a quick bye.
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 And we're back.
You
did it.
Don't you dare cut that out. Aiden has the power. He's doing the editing at the moment.
I'm going to cut out everyone.
Oh my god! You just cut out you keep the laughing in at the end, but you cut out the bit where I said "and we're back" just to spite me.
I splice in me saying it. I'm going to record over it, and it's just me like, "And we're back," and then we're like,
"Oh, that's so funny," and then we talk about the fact that you're going to do it. All right, yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. And we're back.
And we're back.